but you didn't choose that.
I need to know what's going on with the YouTube live stream.
What?
I need to know what's going on with the YouTube live stream.
I just now got live. So
Okay, good.
you,
I see it.
yes, now we're live. So I'll let you go so that you can watch us
thank you.
there. Okay. Bye, Stafford. Wow. How about that? So, welcome. That was a whole fucking thing.
Yeah, man.
Welcome to So I Married a Cinephile. We're back.
We're back, baby.
And you know what? I'm feeling hungry, but in my face. I'm feeling hungry, but in like my eyes.
You have hungry eyes.
I think I have hungry eyes.
You have hungry eyes.
Hungry eyes. Rocket, are you going to sing with me? One look at you. No. Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
I'm Megan Carver, and I'm I don't like doing it backwards.
You don't like doing it
no,
that way?
you do
Okay,
it.
I'm Ben Farmer, and I'm a cinephile.
I'm Megan Carver, and I'm a Cine-newbie. We watch all kinds of movies, new and old.
And we let you know if you should watch them, too. Welcome back to So I Married a Cinephile, another live broadcast.
Live broadcast.
I suppose this is broadcast.
Yes, it is.
On the YouTubes. Here
on
we
the
are.
YouTubes, and then we're also recording for our podcast, which will be released on wherever you get your podcast, unless it's a weird, like super indie, like hipster thing that
Yeah.
no one knows
Or you
about.
live in, like, the Carpathian Mountains or something.
Right, we are on New York. What was the radio
York One?
station? New
Yeah.
York radio station, apparently. I don't know if that's still
totally
going
forgot all
on.
about
Yeah,
that.
we're apparently on that, but I have no idea if we're actually
there
on
was
that anymore.
There was a radio station on the Upper West Side that was running reruns of our previous episodes.
Yes.
As well as some new ones, I think. We
Yes.
sent them some new MP3s.
Mhm.
So anyhow, I don't think that's a thing anymore because
The world's
I
exploded.
think radio might be dead
Right.
or it coming back.
Coming back.
We should say that if we do get back on this show, that would be great.
That would be
because
neat.
I don't want to say anything right now that would jeopardize that. But who knows when that's going to happen.
Who knows?
So here we are.
Let's speculate
We
wildly.
will pull out a globe and speculate.
Here
wildly.
we are. Ben, how was your week?
It was great.
What did you do? What was the highlight of your week?
I did a lot of voiceover work.
Your
which
hair
I'm-
looks different.
Oh, that was a big highlight of my week, I should say. I got whatever is, I think people are calling it the quarantine cut or the COVID cut.
Hmm.
This one here cut not only my hair, but she cut Rocket's hair too. So, she usually cuts Rocket's hair, but she cut my hair for the first time.
Using the same trimmers that I use on Rocket.
Yeah, as well as my own personal
Right.
like handheld trimmer. But you know what? I like it a lot.
I think it turned out good.
Yeah, I think it turned
I'm
out great.
honestly surprised. I
So-
thought for sure I would have done a worser job, but
worser job?
not because
like a
it's
worser
like
original.
yeah,
Yeah.
just because I've never cut anyone's hair before.
Well, cutting guys' hair and cutting girls' hair is very different.
Yes,
And I basically had to coach you into
you did.
doing.
You had to-
just do what my barber does.
Just you had to cajole me into it.
I
and be
go-
like, stop doing
I go
it that
see
way.
the same Russian mobsters down the street from Row House, Chelsea,
Every 4 weeks.
once a month at least.
Yeah.
And they just know what to do.
Right.
I walk in, I shoot the shit.
They give you a shot
offer
of
me,
vodka.
They offer me a shot of alcohol, which sometimes I take, sometimes I don't, just to warm me up,
Yep.
just in case it's like a cold
I
winter's
wonder if
day.
they do that actually just in case they fuck up your hair. That you're like, well, I took a
It's
shot.
good cut.
It's-
We give you shots. It's
and
good.
he was, and then I'm like, oh, I guess
yeah, you know
it's good
what? It
enough.
is good.
It's
I
fine.
see, it's fun. You pay no.
Yeah.
No, they're all very nice guys, but clearly they're not open, and we're not even in New York. So, when in Rome,
Have your wife cut your
have
hair.
your wife cut your hair.
Yes.
So that was a big highlight of my
Good.
week. But again, I got to do a
You
ton
did
of
a
voiceover
shit
work,
ton of voiceover
which I'm
this
very
week.
grateful for.
Yeah.
Just another perk of being able to work remotely for both of us,
Mhm.
which is very nice in these very weird and trying times.
Yes.
So here we are.
Yeah.
How was your week?
It was good. I think one of my favorite things about this week was actually getting out and doing yard
Oh my
work.
Jesus! If you guys could see my back,
Oh yeah,
My
you got
sunburn
burned so
is
bad.
and it was like 60 degrees, but it was a clear sunny day. We both got out in the yard.
Yep.
I'm totally railroading.
No, you are. It's fine. Your sunburn is
but
more
my
important
sunburn
than my memory.
is so much warmer than your memory.
Yeah,
right now.
that's what it is.
We had to put so much Lubriderm on my back last night,
Yep.
and I woke up feeling much better.
No, it's totally healed now. But you know,
it
you look
was.
like
I had a
like
tramp
God
stamp
slapped you on your back.
sunburn that was like it looked like a lower back tattoo, but like a big pink bat.
Yep.
That went from literally kidney
Although
to kidney.
I saw one of the other teachers from AMAW.
Oh, Lord bless her.
She's out in LA,
Her
the
mask.
AMAW studio in a way. She was wearing a mask and she has a tan line.
It was the Batman tan line.
That it's literally that. It's a reverse one. It's a reverse
Batman.
Batman.
If Batman were to go out in the sun in his suit,
no, it's literally if someone took
he would just burn this part of his face, but
it
it's
was
the opposite.
pale anyways.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And it's like
that's gonna be a
stuck.
thing. That's gonna be a thing.
She will have to apply not only makeup, but like hopefully at some point go to a tanning bed.
Right, and be like, hey, could you guys just
up.
just tan this?
How do you do that?
So awkward.
I don't know.
So I really like doing yard work though,
Yeah.
because we've never done yard work
Together.
No, I've only ever
We've done it
done
separately.
yard work like for my parents and with my parents, but
Yeah.
we've never done it.
You planted flowers.
I planted
did
flowers.
a lot of raking.
You did, and then I tried to use a pressure washer without using directions.
My sweet Jesus!
I've never used
come
a pressure
off the cross,
washer
guys.
before.
That was maybe the most entertaining 20 minutes I've had in a long
accidentally
time.
sprayed myself in the crotch
Because
somehow.
she's like, how do you use a pressure washer?
from the hose.
And she's taking it out of the garage, and I'm not telling her how to use it. She's
No.
like, how do you use a pressure washer? I'm like, there are instructions. There are instructions. There are both Belle and Gaston instructions on this thing. There are words and pictures to go with the words.
Yeah, but
It
when
is a
you
step-by-step
open up
process.
an iPhone, do you read the manual before you start using it?
How else are you gonna know how to
You just
access?
figure
You
it
just
out.
figure it out?
You just figure it out.
Okay.
I don't read the instructions when I get an electronic.
All right. There's a difference though between figuring it out and then when something goes wrong, being like, Ben, what is this? Right? Is the hose? How does a hose work?
I mean, I would do
was
that.
essentially what she asked
Well,
me.
I
Like,
know how
she's standing at the hose
No.
trying to figure out where one end of the nozzle connects to the water line,
No.
and I'm just standing there. I wish
You
I could
literally
record it.
stood there and just watched
I wish
me
I had
struggle
social
bus.
media
You just
so I could post it
watched me
and be like,
struggle
look at
bus
my wife
through.
try to work a garden hose.
No, it wasn't a garden hose. It was a pressure
Phase
washer.
one was the
Connecting
garden
the
hose.
garden hose to the. All right. At any rate,
Any rate, yes, yard work together was
yard
very
work
enjoyable.
was very nice,
Yes.
and we were domestic AF
Yes.
this weekend.
You
which-
could say we had the time of our life.
Speaking of having the time of your lives,
We watched Dirty
Dancing!
Dancing!
Hungry eyes. One look at you and I can't disguise. I've got those hungry eyes.
You know, that's actually not too far off of the people who are in this movie.
Really?
It's set in the 60s.
It is.
With what clearly a lot of rich Jewish upstate New York families go to the Catskills in the
Yes.
summertime
Yes, indeed.
to these recreational lodges, I
Yep.
guess, which used to be a thing.
That used to be a thing. You see it on Maisel. That happens on Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah. So during like the 40s, 50s, like Holiday Inn,
Yep.
or White Christmas, or any of those movies like that.
Yep.
Like this is what people used to do after World War II. They would, they came home from killing Nazis. They started a family. They got a job. They built a house with their bare hands.
Yes,
And
that's
then-
exactly what
And then in
happened.
the summertime,
They would
they
go
would
up.
go upstate
Catskills.
to these lodges,
Yep.
and they had like
They would
croquettes
do
and
charades,
charades and come try on
talent
a wig
shows,
and
the most
let's do some
ridiculous
swimming.
shit. Like so, but okay, so
Anyways,
that's what it
We're
is.
getting way into
We
like,
are-
the specifics.
I'm really curious because I've seen this movie so many times.
We should say this
So
is my
many
first
times,
time.
and this is Ben's
My first time just viewing it, and you were right. It was on TBS like every
all
other
the
day
time,
growing
all
up.
the time.
So if you were a kid in the late 80s, early 90s, it was just on TBS.
And it's also
constantly.
been made into a musical.
Oh my God! The research I did on this, it was a 1-season television series. It was made into a stage musical, I
Yep.
think. They remade the movie in 2017, and they did a made-for-TV movie on ABC starring Abigail Breslin, which was the little girl from Signs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Jan Levinson, Melora Hardin, I think her name
From
is.
The Office.
From The Office, who plays Jan Levinson, she played Baby Houseman
Did you
in
say
the
Deborah
miniseries.
Messing was in it?
No, Deborah Messing was in the made-for-TV movie on ABC.
Like, what is happening?
I don't know. Like,
It's like the movie in and of itself, Dirty Dancing in and of itself, is, in my opinion, a wonderful and good, fun movie. And then they all tried to do this offshoot. I'm like, you can't improve upon
this is
it.
the thing now. If anything has an iota of excess or success. I mean, excess and success. I'll get into the excess part of this.
Well,
movie
if
later
Cats
on.
has taught us anything, is that if they made money somewhere, they can replicate it and change it to make more money.
I like to say that this is the most moist movie ever made.
This got the MMM stamp
It's
for
got
movies.
the triple M stamp, the most moist movie.
Most moist
from
movie.
yours truly.
For
because
multiple reasons.
everyone is moist, and if you're not moist, you're gonna get moist. Just from watching
one
what's
way or
happening
another.
on screen.
One way or another.
Because people are just mouths are on collarbones
Mouths,
and crotches are grinding.
People are
and
sweating.
gyrating.
And there's lakes.
And there's
and
lakes.
rain.
And there's this beautiful place where you can play croquet.
And there's.
But if it's too cold out, you want your coat because you're gonna catch your death.
You're gonna catch your death.
You're gonna catch your death out there. But these wonderful lodges on the
What's your-
Catskills.
All right.
So the plot breakdown of Dirty Dancing, which came out in 1987, the plot breakdown per IMDb: spending the summer at a Catskills resort with her family, Frances Baby Houseman falls in love with the camp's dance instructor, Johnny Castle.
What? That's it?
But there's another one. That's the
Holy
second plot
God.
breakdown. That is insane. That's
Wow.
nuts. So we just left Instagram.
We just left Instagram.
For those of you who are on there, hopefully you'll come to our YouTube channel.
Right.
So yeah, it's about Baby Houseman, who's played by Jennifer Grey, falls in love with the dance instructor at this resort. Johnny Castle, played of course by Patrick Swayze.
But it's not just about that. It's like,
Of course, there's deeper meaning.
Whoever wrote that did a shit job.
There's of course deeper meaning and different themes and journeys and arcs for these characters. Of course.
Sure,
but to give an elevator pitch.
No, I
of
think
this
no,
movie,
because the whole
you have
thing
30
is
seconds.
the word is Dirty Dancing, and you didn't say anything about dancing.
Well, she falls in love with the dance instructor.
Yeah, but she learns how to dance. That log line does not pass the Bechdel test at all.
Okay, it doesn't pass the Bechdel test, and you're right. It doesn't really explain the type of dancing that happens in this movie
or
and the why. And
that's
the why.
That's my big thing.
So,
At any rate,
directed by Emil Ardolino, written by the lovely Eleanor Bergstein, who ended up, who I think was an actual dance instructor at a famous New York academy.
Really?
I'll dig into that a little bit more. Supporting cast rounds out with Jerry Orbach, who plays Jake Houseman, who's Jennifer Grey's dad. Cynthia Rhodes, who plays Penny Johnson, who's another amazing dancer who's on staff. I want to say, Wayne Knight's in this movie, but Newman from Seinfeld fucking shows up. So.
Or Jurassic Park. I always think of him from Jurassic Park.
He plays what is
the
his
OG.
name? Yeah, the
Newman.
I mean, he's Newman in Seinfeld.
No, you just said Newman. That would be funny.
I forget his character's name.
I can't remember. I just remember the can.
So here we are, talking about the plot a little bit. We
right. So I mean, effectively. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Before we get into the plot, when we turned off the movie, I said, and that's Dirty Dancing. And you said, takes off glasses. I have some notes.
And I do.
I'm really curious overall.
Do you not have any notes?
I don't have any. I've seen this movie so many times.
Really? Okay.
So many times. This is like one.
Is this a movie you'd sneak around and watch, like behind your parents' back?
No, my parents were fine with this.
Really?
They were fine
okay,
with
so
this.
if it was on TV.
But again, if it was on, it was on TBS.
The unedited version is a little jarring.
That is why it gets the MMM.
This
rating.
is the no. So not really connected to this, but connected in a way. Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey were in a movie called Red Dawn, which came out in 1984. Red Dawn was the first movie to receive a PG-13 rating.
Oh.
I don't know if this was rated PG-13 though.
Interesting.
This may have been rated R.
No, it wouldn't have been rated R. Not for that.
Jennifer Grey's naked in this movie.
You don't see her naked though.
Really? Oh, I thought you saw her boobs.
No, you saw the side of Patrick Swayze's butt.
Oh.
You saw him like getting out of bed, and you're like,
because you were
there
like
he is.
naked, and I'm like,
I
oh, you
was.
saw her boobs, but that was when I was
no,
like,
you were looking down at your phone, and I'm like, you're missing one of the most
writing-
brilliant half moons.
I have a lot of notes here, so
That
this
has
is
so
what
many.
I was
All right.
doing.
So at any rate, I'm curious, like just
So the movie opens
in a sentence, what you thought of it. Just it.
enjoyable, but I felt wet.
That sounds like a complaint from someone who went to a water park and didn't know what to expect.
Or you went on a roller coaster and sat in a puddle.
Or you went on a right.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a good time, but I felt
you
wet.
felt wet.
I felt damp watching this movie.
Did you feel dirty watching this movie?
I felt like there was a little part of me, and maybe it's because when this movie was set, I felt like I was watching something that I wasn't supposed to be watching.
Ooh!
And I think from the opening, you have these 50s and 60s songs. It doesn't open with Leader of the Pack.
No, Be My Baby.
Be My Baby.
Yes.
I think maybe the same group. But anyway, you have this kind of montage of all this dancing happening. You have this old-timey oldie song playing.
Right.
But you have like crotches on thighs, like grinding, and people like bending over and sweat. And so it sent a very odd message, because what I was hearing didn't jive with what I was singing. And I'm like, I'm hearing this lovely old-timey song.
I think that is a great representation of the movie.
And I think
it goes against what everything had been up until that point.
Right. And you have to realize, so this was set in 1963.
Right.
And sexuality wasn't quite out there in the open.
No.
I'm not sure if like I don't know if like women's liberation had really taken up.
No, this is before Kennedy was shot. Like this is
the Summer of Love.
Yeah.
Before Woodstock, I think.
Right.
So I don't know if it was as out in the open as we are now. I feel like as a culture, the United States is a little bit weird.
Yeah.
We're not sexually uninhibited, but we still think of it as
it's very taboo.
Don't
talk about it. Right. So
do what you want.
So basically, this family goes up to the Catskills
Yes.
for their summer trip,
vacation.
and it's a 3-week trip. So they go up there.
They go to Kellerman's.
They unpack.
Come for the summer, stay for the dirty dancing.
Is that what it says?
That's what I wrote.
Oh. I was like, I don't think that's right.
Is that what the sign
I was like,
says?
that's really ironic.
Come for the summer, stay for the dirty dancing.
dancing.
We're going to rub some crotches.
We're going to rub some
I'm looking at
We're
you,
going to get
Eloise.
some smells, and no one is going to expect them.
Stinking here.
So we get up there, and like, I love too the arc of Baby's character, because she is so fucking
First time you see Jennifer
at the start
Grey
of this movie.
She's reading a book in the car.
She's reading a book in the car.
Gives me a headache. I don't know
She's
if anyone
talking
else is.
about like how she wants to join the Peace Corps. She's like, my dad, I never thought I could ever find a guy better than my dad.
Jerry Orbach, who's a doctor, and she's like the all-American.
Yeah, and so like they go there and they unpack and everything, and it's really clear that they have this strong relationship, which I don't know how they have this strong relationship with the guy that owns it, the proprietor.
So Kellerman, who owns the place, I think is maybe part of the same Rotary Club or some shit.
No. Remember, the doctor helped him when he had a heart attack or something.
Oh,
that's
I didn't
what
know if they
it
knew
was.
each other from like
No.
World War
It
II
was a
or
heart
something.
attack thing, and he's like, I wouldn't be. If it wasn't for your father, I would be standing here dead. Is the line
Which
that
is a really
he said,
good line.
which is a great fuck. This movie has so many good lines.
Only one writer. One
writer, and directed by a female. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So Wayne Knight's there. He's like the comedy guy for Kellerman's. The bellboys start hitting on women like that.
You got so confused.
I thought the bellboys and the waiters were male escorts. Because
did you really?
I swear to God, I thought they were like on the side. Like Kellerman had like this side hustle going on with all of his waiters. This would have made for a really more interesting movie.
I mean, this is like HBO.
He's telling all the waiters, like, hey, to take the girls and show them a good time.
Even the dogs.
Yeah, even the dogs. Like, even the fucking ugly ones. I don't know. Like, it was weird.
And you also, too, were confused between the differentiating between the help. Because you're like, okay, the bus boys are supposed to show them a good time, but the dancers aren't supposed to?
So, you have two separate but not equal groups. You have the busboys and waiters who are like
college,
like the college kids there for the summer trying to make a little extra money, but they're also trying to get laid.
Right.
And then you have like the ethnic group,
right,
which is like the staff, and they stay in like these cabins that are like way far out, and they're all decrepit, and it's people of color, people from the wrong side of the tracks, which is how we meet Patrick Swayze, because he rolls in like Danny Zuko about to start the season, and Swayze is a dreamboat in this movie. Like, goddamn, Patrick Swayze, rest his soul. At the height of his power, probably.
Like, this is like Swayze is 2/3 of the reason that this gets the triple M rating. Like,
like I looked at the man and I was like, oh
my God,
I'm no longer the most handsome man in the room. Like, that's like how guys feel when they look at Patrick Swayze in this movie.
Understandably so.
And like, I don't care if Brad Pitt is watching this movie, he's probably like, God damn it, Patrick Swayze. I'm out
hotted again.
Right.
But,
so anyway.
They get like unpacked and they get things settled, and then you see this like behind the scenes thing where Kellerman is like, hey, treat the girls nice, even the dogs. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then like there's all this undertone about like, to the girls, it's like, you're gonna meet the man of your dreams.
Yeah,
and
so it's also like, it's not like an arranged marriage situation, but this is where they're like taking their kids. This family's taken their 2 daughters, hoping they'll meet a nice young Jewish boy,
right, I think that's what
nice
it is.
Jewish doctor, an accountant,
that's
whatever. It is a thing,
yeah.
Especially like having lived in New York for 5 years.
Right,
that is a lot of the culture,
and they
that,
even
like,
too. That's shown in Maisel as well.
Yeah,
like when they go up, they like specifically try to pair up couples.
Right, and so that used to be a thing and may still be a thing in some communities. I have no idea either. But it is like, this is a way of life. Right.
And so basically at this point, like, Baby gets introduced to this one guy who on paper sounds like an amazing guy. Like, he's on trajectory to go be a hotel manager, and he's like helping Kellerman, and so he's got the inn,
but he's also like this Rizzo, Dustin Hoffman from Midnight Cowboy kind of type.
He looks like
he's this little stringy little guy you just want to like punch in the face.
He looks like if allergies were a person.
If Claritin were embodied,
a brunette, short man,
just a narc, just a guy you just want to punch in the face.
He's just a little bit. He's a lot of bit dweeby,
and he's like, and he's super close. He's
cool.
Like getting super close to people.
Did you know that? And then like at some point, what was it? They're hanging out, and then like something unpleasant happens, and he's like, "I'm sorry you had to see that, baby. Sometimes we see things that we shouldn't or don't want to see," and it's like. What the fuck are you trying to wax poetic right now?
He's like trying to be more than he is. Like, he's clearly trying to make a name for himself,
right.
But at the same time, he's trying to, peacock and impress.
Right.
And
so they all go for the first night for
illusions. There are illusions in this. Baby gets pulled up on the stage for the magic show. And
gets cut in half.
Joe Bluth cuts her in half.
Well, not actual Joe Bluth.
And the final countdown plays.
No,
it's my favorite part.
That's not what happens. Look, we lost a follower because of what you just said. We lost somebody watching this because of what you just said.
So no, I did illusions with all caps.
They have this big intro dance, and that's when we were first introduced to the dancing that is possible by Patrick Swayze and his partner.
Jesus Christ. And
Penny.
I didn't look up his full bio.
Oh my
but
fucking
he is
God.
Clearly like, and some of the trivia in this movie,
I am obsessed with the trivia of this movie.
He actually had to tone down his dancing in this movie because the character of Johnny Castle isn't like a polished professional dancer. I mean, it's his gig.
Right, but he learned it
on
the streets.
Secondhand.
Yeah. He learned
all the kids on the corner singing doo-wop.
He learned it. He might as well have learned it from a newsie that knew how to mamba.
He learned it from West Side Story.
He did. He saw West Side Story. He's like, I could do that.
That's what gangs do.
That's what it is. Oh, finally.
But it should be said that not only was Patrick Swayze a phenomenal dancer in real life, the dancing he does in this movie. You good?
You got it? There you go.
The dancing he does in this movie had to be toned down because he didn't want Johnny Castle to look
too
good. But you watch him dance in this movie and you're just like, I can't tell the difference.
Nope.
You're just amazing at it. And it makes me furious, and I'm moist and uncomfortable.
And then Kellerman's like, you guys need to fucking stop it. Stop it. He doesn't like dancers being dancers. Kellerman is the most confusing character.
I think what he wanted was for them to like go out and dance with
the other
Grandma
guests.
Maisel and have them out doing their little whatever instead of doing this rehearsed showboat routine number, which looks amazing.
I don't know. For me, if I saw that, I'd be like, oh, that looks so cool. I want to do that. Like that's what I would think. But he's like, no, like go dance badly.
So we're all of a sudden thrust into a Roe v. Wade situation where apparently Penny, who is Patrick Swayze's female dance partner, gets knocked up. We don't know by whom.
Right.
But she's like in the kitchen shaking, and Baby sees her in there, and she runs and tells Patrick Swayze. And no, I was about to say she discovers all the Dirty Dancers before that because she's carrying a watermelon.
No, I know, but I think that actually that happens. Oh no, you're right.
She wanders off. So
she does wander off.
Illusions. So she gets into the magic trick show, and she's not having a good time. She walks out of her parents' cabin. She's like, "I'm going for a walk. Fuck this." And she wanders over to the staff cabins, which again is like going to Skid Row.
Big party going on.
There's a big party with all the ethnics in there.
One of the guys that she had met when she first got there,
the first bellboy,
he's like, "Oh, you should come up." And he's carrying these 3 massive watermelons.
And he hands one to her.
And so they go upstairs, and
they open the door.
Swayze, oh, I'm sorry.
No, well, he's not there yet.
No, but they open the door, and then Ben got moist.
Everyone's rubbing crotches.
I don't know why this is such a big deal.
It was like
this is like a big thing for you.
It was like if Showtime on a subway car happened to literally everyone in the subway car.
Right.
It made me both happy and extremely uncomfortable. I'm like watching this scene. I'm like, this is New York. Like this is people like mixing and having fun. I wish the entire country would take a line off of a scene like this, because you have people just getting along. Everyone's rubbing crotches.
Yeah, that's what America needs.
That's what we don't do.
Make
in New
America
York.
dance again. That's what we need.
Everyone's touching peepees and like doing their
Wait a
thing.
minute.
Okay.
Tummy sticks. So
there's a lot of heavy, moist, wet, sweaty dancing happening. And I'm both like curious about it, but again, at the same time, like I shouldn't be watching this. I shouldn't be like I identified with Baby Houseman very much.
I know you did.
And that I was very uncomfortable.
I know you did.
And so she gets kind of pulled into the room, and people are having a good time, and then Swayze comes in, and he's like, "Woo!" And he and Penny, of course, pair up.
Right.
And they're just going to town, amazing dancers.
Right.
And eventually, Baby gets paired up with Patrick Swayze.
Right.
We can ignore that.
Okay.
Gets paired up with Patrick Swayze.
No, so here's the thing, because Swayze comes over, he's like, "What is she doing here? You're not supposed to bring
rich girl
them over. You're not supposed to bring them over.
They're very separate, you see.
Yeah, there's a whole thing.
She's the Sandy.
The uptown girl.
She's
the downtown
Sandy,
boy.
and he's Zuko.
Right.
You know, you got Newton-John and Travolta. They're not supposed to mix.
Right. So he's like, "What are you doing here?" She's like, "I carried a watermelon." Can I get that as a bumper sticker? I don't have a car, but I want that as a bumper sticker. That's great. That's a great shirt. That's a great shirt. So then she's super awkward, and then Swayze kind of like teaches her a little bit of dancing, and then sort of disappears.
And I wrote down. First I wrote down Johnny Castle. What a great fucking name.
Yeah,
I actually meant that. And then I also wrote down, she's like me. She has trouble isolating her hips when she dances.
Aww.
She's like the whitest woman in America, and I'm like the whitest guy in America when it comes to dancing.
It's true. Bless
and then later on, do we have the line of "I love to watch your hair blowing in the breeze"?
That was earlier when we were talking about what a douchebag Claritin is.
The Rizzo, Dustin Hoffman looking weasel of a guy who's like flirting with Baby.
Right.
They're like outside, like standing on a dock, and he's like behind her.
That was
like this, and he's like, "I love watching your hair blowing in the breeze." And I'm like, "Don't ever say that to anyone, ever.
Never.
Or you will be arrested.
That's horrible.
You will be maced and then arrested.
Horrible.
Don't ever say that to a woman."
Let's get back to where we were.
Anyways.
So basically at this point, we find out, like you had mentioned, that Penny's in trouble.
Penny's knocked up. We don't know who's the father.
Penny's in trouble.
And she wants Schmorshman. I won't say the word, but it
Why?
rhymes with abortion.
She wants an abortion.
She wants one of those.
She would like one of those, please, and a side of fries.
And again, this
a
is
hot water bottle for your
1963.
tummy.
This is actually before
Abortion
was legalized.
is not a thing.
This is done in back rooms in Mexico. Like,
Right.
this is not something
Rough.
that is legal.
rough.
And it's always rough and very unsafe.
Right. So effectively, they find out that there is a doctor that's coming through that says that they can perform the surgery.
For $250.
That being said, that she's not going to be able to go do it because she and Johnny have a show at another
They got a
hotel.
gig.
They got a gig. If they don't go, then they lose that money and they lose the gig next summer. And just like a lot of actors, you know this, I know this, you audition early on for gigs that you're going to get several months later. So
Right.
it's something where it's like, if you miss something, you've lost income for months.
Because there's unfortunately someone in line right
There's
behind
always going to be someone behind you. So
you. Anyways.
they say, well, fuck, it doesn't matter if we have the money, because baby then asks dad,
Jerry Orbach.
hey, dad, I know you're golfing, but can I have $250? What's it for? I can't tell you. Okay, here's your money.
Yeah, essentially. It's super easy. And so she takes the money to Penny and she's like, here you go.
Here, kill the baby.
You can do it now. And
And then
she ends up
says,
not doing
right,
it.
because that's when she says, there's a gig, I can't do it anyways.
Right.
So then they suggest, why don't we teach baby?
she can dance.
She's standing to my left. Like that.
That's essentially how this
That's
movie
pretty
happens.
much what it is. It's like she's standing to my left. She's a girl.
But as it turns out, even though you go through a montage,
You
a
go
la-
through 3 montages.
a la
This is
Karate
such
Kid.
a montage-heavy movie, and I am so
This is
here
the Karate
for
Kid
it.
of dance movies.
I fucking love montages.
And Megan refuses to recognize that. There's even a
This
scene
is
in this
not-
movie where they go out to the woods.
Who's
and
they?
So Patrick Swayze
our
and
listeners.
Baby go out to the woods because she's not getting her balance or her steps right for this. I think it's the Mambo number or something
Yep.
like that. So he takes her out to a log out in the forest and says, the most important thing is balance. And I'm like, whoa, this is the same thing as the Karate Kid. He's trying to learn balance. He's not trying to learn just physical
Okay,
balance.
all right.
He's trying to learn balance for his whole
I am
life.
literally rolling up my sleeves right
And
now.
the fact that you don't like the Karate Kid but like this movie
I
is problematic for me.
refuse because my biggest thing with Karate Kid, child, Rocky, Dirty Dancing, adults.
They're all the same movie.
They're not the same movie.
The same basic premise
This
of
is
the
way
protagonist needing to learn balance and needing to become who she really is and give herself the permission to do so, having to seek help
It's
from someone who's
suspension
older.
of disbelief. I'm not going to get into this fight with you again.
Unbelievable.
I don't, but at
Unbelievable.
any rate, so
She hates the Karate Kid, but she loves this. She loved Rocky.
I can't. We got to focus.
Speaking of
Focus
third
back up.
person, Patrick Swayze always talks about himself in this movie as the third person.
Megan
It's like,
thinks
it's
that
all
we
right.
should get back
It's all
on
right.
track.
It's all right.
Johnny's here.
Johnny's here.
Johnny's
It's all
got
right.
you.
And I'm like, oh, he talks about himself in the third person.
So at this point, they're like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. Like, why not? Because she's got to go kill the baby.
Yes.
So she has like, what, a week to
I
learn
wrote
how to
down this
dance?
is the Karate Kid. Yeah, and I think she has less than a week to learn.
So she is working literally day and night and day, learning all these steps. And then
He's getting furious with her. He's
Right.
like, no, you need to be better. You need
they
to
go
feel it in your
practice
heart."
in a lake. They go practice on a log. They go.
I wrote down, she's
practice
doing
in a
it!
field.
Exclamation point. And I ask, is this the most moist movie ever made? Where did his shirt go? He just danced that pole out of the ground
Oh my
because he
God.
had to like kick this pole and then break a window.
Right.
But he like did this weird like
Kick,
footloose move. And like
I
something
didn't
he
even
clearly
think
moved.
about it
He's like,
dancing the
"Da-na-na-na-na-na,"
pole
and he pulls
out.
up the pole. Yeah.
and then breaks the
And then
car
breaks
window.
the window.
Yes.
Where did his shirt go?
I will say, to your point about most moist movie, there are so many nipples in this movie.
Galore.
Nips abound. Like I got hit in the face by one during
Having
this.
done a lot of musical theater, you see
you just see
you
nipples.
see
But even that being
nipples all
said,
over the
in
place.
the 80s, I feel like nipples were just everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you saw them a lot more,
And I think
especially on women.
and I think maybe as actors who have appeared in movies, you see it on screen and you're like, what is it someone's job to like
right.
tell them Or like say, hey, man, as we're framing the shot and walking it through, maybe we should put it.
There was even a part when they're like in the lake and she's like adjusting her shirt. I'm like, I can see your areolas.
And I think the reason why, getting into a little bit of trivia, this is supposed to happen in the summertime.
Yeah.
But this was actually shot in Virginia in the fall.
Oh.
You can see the big exterior shots, like leaves are changing colors.
Yeah.
The close-up shots where they had to get close to a tree, they literally spray painted the leaves.
What?
Because it was shot later on in the year. They had 2 weeks of rehearsal and 41 days to shoot this movie, and they could only get a fall time block. So that's why. So it was probably freezing outside.
Yeah.
And especially in the lake.
She was still
so that's why
wearing
nipples
a
are
white shirt at any rate.
And Baby always wears white.
So, oh my God, I didn't even notice that.
And Johnny always wears black.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice that. What she does. Why does she always, I know why, but like, oh my God. All right, okay? I'm okay. That's just, I do smell toast and bacon. We need breakfast food. So they dance and dance and dance, and then it's time for the thing, and they go and they dance, and she doesn't do the lift because she pussies out and does this weird.
She's afraid. She does like this
weird little.
She does this amazing like Elaine dance.
And fun side plot: the old thieves.
The old thieving Jewish couple.
The fucking old. What were the names? The Schumachers.
The Schumachers, and they're staying at Zuckerman's ranch or whatever the fuck that guy's place is.
Kellerman, you're right.
And they also go and see the show that they happen to be dancing at, and they're like, "Oh shit, we gotta get out of here."
I was also like, "Why are they worried about that? Why would they?"
Because they don't want to get recognized as dancing there, and then they'll tell Kellerman, and Kellerman be like, "What the fuck? Like, why were you dancing in another club?"
Okay.
Me?
All right. Okay.
Maybe they were under contract.
All right.
Anyway.
But so they go and dance, and it goes okay. It goes fine.
And then do we get back to Penny? Who's
then
like
we get
dying?
back to that happens that night.
Because
she went.
There was a backwoods doctor who operated on her with a fork on a ping pong table.
Yes.
And the abortion did not go well.
Spoiler alert, does not go well.
Baby has to go tell Dr. Dad and be like, "You have to come quick." And Jerry Orbach grabs his medical bag, because if the show MASH taught me anything, it's that doctors always have a goddamn medical bag.
They do.
And I loved it.
And
it was great.
Everywhere.
So he grabs his medical bag, he goes in, and he's like, "Who's responsible for this woman?"
Right.
And Patrick Swayze's like, "Me, sir." And he gives her a shot of something, and hours go by.
And he comes out, and here's the thing, though. Is there anything in that doctor's bag that would actually save someone from a botched abortion?
There's probably enough.
I think so.
There's probably enough morphine.
How could you stop the internal bleeding?
I'm not. Like, who knows what she had? She probably had. She was clearly in shock. Like, she's sweating.
Yeah,
she's shaking.
But I'm like, there's just in my mind watching this, I was like, I don't think that there's enough
every
in that
medical bag.
Doctor bag.
Not to get off on a tangent here, but every doctor's medical bag has basic, not only basic first aid, but like heavy drugs in there.
Okay.
Including a lot of morphine. There's a set of syringes. They have a scalpel just in case they need to open someone up. Like open an airway if someone's choking.
No, I know. I still
that kind of stuff.
In my opinion, from what I know,
because the movie needed to happen.
I know, but
movie drugs were in the bag.
Movie drugs were in the bag.
Cecil B. DeMille drug kit.
Movie drugs. I see. Well, then I have no more questions.
The Metro Golden Mayer drug kit.
Got it.
It had the lion on the side.
So
and the Warner Brothers logo on the other.
Penny turns out she's going to be okay, but Dad is super
pissed. He's pissed. He's like, "Why are you hanging out with these kids? I raised you better. I don't know who you are, baby."
Right. And then he's like, "We're going to leave. We're going to leave early." And then that's when one of my favorite lines in the whole movie.
Her
fucking sister, who is so awkward. I want to be the sister. Like, I don't want to be baby. I want to be the sister because I want to sing that song at the end. And she's like, "We're going to leave before the talent show?" He's like, "Yeah, we're leaving." And she's like, "But Daddy, I was going to sing in the show." I fucking love it. Okay, well, what song are you going to sing? "I Feel Pretty" or like the Simple Folk do? Or "I Feel Pretty"? What do you think, Daddy? Oh, I love it.
I also wrote down who did Baby's makeup during the dance routine at the
hotel.
My
God.
I want a name.
It looked like, what's her name from the Drew Carey show?
It looked like her. It looked like she was taken to a mortuary and
yes.
had her makeup done for free.
Right.
Like
for
Amber,
someone that was
like Amber
practicing.
Atkins from
Yes.
Drop Dead Gorgeous did her
Right.
makeup. She had like big,
oh my
big, lot
god!
of rouge.
So
big,
effectively, Dad was like, "We're gonna leave. We're gonna get the fuck out of here." And then he's
Orbach
like,
saves the day.
okay.
Who are you, baby?
"Just kidding. We'll stay."
And after that is when she goes back to Johnny's cabin.
Right.
She's like, I'm myself when I'm with you. I've never felt as more alive.
That's the other thing too. Is that when was it? What is her name?
Baby.
No. The actor's name.
Oh, Jennifer Grey.
It is Jennifer Grey. When Jennifer Grey is distraught, her pitch starts to just go up as she gets more and more upset. She's like, I just don't know what to think because I never feel the way I feel with every year. I'm like, you need to.
Can you go higher than that?
You need to.
It's essentially it. And then just to shut her up, I think they have sex.
That's what it is. Like at one point she goes so high, you're just
the dogs around the Catskills start barking.
So they have
she
sex.
gave him her special flower.
Yes.
And then after that, I'm like, talent show! Exclamation point.
Right.
That's it.
Because I mean, that's the last thing is because there's going to be a talent show.
And then he ends up. Oh, this is where we get into the thieving Jewish couple.
The thieving couple.
Because side plot, there is a rich man whose wife stays at the resort Monday through Friday. Her husband only comes up on weekends. So Monday through Friday.
And even then, when he's there on the weekends, he barely pays attention.
She's actually getting private lessons from Patrick Swayze.
We're going to say private lessons with air quotes.
Yes. And they are stupid. Like Patrick Swayze is.
Which then also too, I was like, why is Baby not wondering if there's overlap here?
He has to have HPV.
There was no talk about that. Like, are you also sleeping with her?
Right.
Like, it was just like,
but there's that scene where he's like, no, they're like using me, but I'm like using them. And it's cool or something.
No. He was saying like what he was saying is all these women come at me and they throw stuff at me like money and jewels and you know, and it's like I've never seen that. Like last month I was trying to eat ramen to get through the week and now I've got diamonds in my hands. And Baby says, well, okay, I get it. Then you were just using me, like thinking that he wants to go back to that.
Oh,
and then he says, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I thought they cared about me.
Right.
But they were using me.
Right.
So it wasn't that they were giving me these things because they cared about me. They were giving me these things to shut me up and to get me to do what they wanted me to do.
So long story short, this rich Jewish woman wants to have sex with Patrick Swayze again, but he turns her down because he's
Wait a minute. Why do you think they're all Jewish?
They're all Jewish.
They're not all Jewish.
They are, okay, well, all right, 90% of the people at this lodge.
There's no way to know. I just want to make sure that we don't make any assumptions.
I'm not trying to make any assumptions.
All right.
But at the same time, like they're depicted in the movie a very certain way.
I never thought of it that way.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay. And maybe it's because it's set like in the early 60s.
Or because you saw Maisel.
Or Maisel, yeah. These are clearly a lot of well-to-do upstate New York Jewish families.
Okay, no, I get that.
Anyways, so the older lady wants to have sex again with Patrick Swayze, but he turns her down because he's helping Jennifer Grey prep for the talent show, but he's also like kind of committed and in love with her.
But they're not prepping for the talent show at this point. Like that's the other thing too. They're just dancing for funsies, right? And then fucking for funsies. Yeah, like that's what they're doing.
And so this lady gets mad and tells Kellerman and Rizzo the Rat that Swayze stole her husband's wallet, and they fire him.
Right. No, that's not how it goes.
No.
So they say, no, do you have an alibi for where you were?
Oh, right.
And he's like, he said, I was home alone all night. I was at my room reading. And they're like, no, you weren't. That's a filthy lie. Like, do you have anyone to back up that alibi? He's like, no. So then that's when Jennifer Grey says, no, he didn't do it. Maybe it was the older couple. And
who are apparently kleptomaniacs.
Yeah.
Like 90.
You find out later that that's who it is.
Yeah.
But then she reveals,
I was with him last night.
I was with him. I can vouch for him.
Right. Exactly.
So then
and Jerry Orbach's like, what? Did he take your special flower?
No, we just talked.
Daddy.
We made dream boards.
Moist conversation.
Very moist conversation.
We had the most moist conversation ever.
Most moist
And monologue. So Jerry Orbach is super sad that his daughter lost his virginity, that he goes and sits in a gazebo.
No. You got it. We're not there yet.
We're not there yet?
No.
Yes, we are.
No, we're not, because he gets fired. Because
Okay,
like
so
even
he got
though
fired.
she did all of that, he still got fired
Right,
and
'cause
was
they don't
told,
believe her.
"Hey, if you just leave and shut the fuck up and don't make a scene, we'll give you your bonus, but you're never coming back."
Right.
So then,
so they paid him off. Essentially.
right,
Right.
So then we have the sad daddy crying,
Dad in a gazebo scene.
dad in the gazebo,
Even though it must have been
crying
freezing
daughter.
out there.
He had a jacket.
He had a jacket.
And we
She
had
did,
a,
though.
you know,
She had like a cardigan.
yes.
Anyway.
I mean, she's, you know.
So she's like, "I'm sorry, Daddy. I didn't think I was gonna. I didn't mean to like you. But you lied to me too.
You lied to me too. You thought the world's perfect. They're all gonna laugh at you.
And so
So then,
she now has HPV, I'm sure.
and now it's time
he
for
got fired. He's gone.
him to drive away, but to the song
She's
"She's
like
the Wind," which he sang.
Apparently
He
he's
sang that. I'm like, oh my
I knew
god.
it was song, but I didn't know it was him singing.
Yeah,
I
it's
had
him.
no
I'm like,
idea.
he's the original Hugh Jackman. Like if you think
Truly,
about it, he
truly.
was an action guy, and then he was also a
And
singer,
a phenomenal
dancer. And like,
yeah.
oh my
She's
god.
like the wind, and then
But the lyrics of "She's Like the Wind" don't make sense.
she's
Like the wind through my tree. I'm like, is it a tree or is it your specific tree? Like, what did she blow on you? Like, what
did she blow on your tree?
But then there is a great line. Just a fool to believe I am anything she needs.
Sure, which is
She's like the
self-deprecating
wind, and I'm like,
nice,
wait, at any rate,
because men are garbage.
it's great. I
and
love that
nothing
song. It
without
also
women.
doesn't make
So
sense.
he's fired. He's gone. Oh, he's back because we're at the talent show.
Right. He decides,
And it's Megan's favorite.
I'm not gonna leave quietly. I'm gonna do my dance.
Right. We get the end of Moulin Rouge essentially, but
Effectively,
without Satine dying of whooping cough.
Right.
Because she's not well.
Right.
And at the same time, Patrick Swayze comes in, but he doesn't come in alone. He comes in with all of the Dirty Dancers from the staff cabin.
No, don't forget though. You have the part where Dad randomly walks up to the guy, Robbie.
Oh, and he hands him a check.
Had gotten Penny pregnant.
But he doesn't know that.
Right. But then also too, I was like, why the fuck are you giving this kid?
I think it was like
money?
a gesture of like, oh, I was hoping you and my daughter would end up together. You seem like a nice boy. Here, I'm a doctor as well.
Here's
good
some
luck in
money.
medical. Yeah, good luck in medical school. You know.
You don't know this
It was
kid.
the '60s.
You don't know this.
Dads wore dad sweaters and handed checks to. He gave his daughter $250.
Movie has to happen, or it was insert decade. Like that's always what it is.
Okay, it was.
Whenever I'm like,
I think it was
why
the
are
day and
people
age.
hitting all these women? He's like, it was the '60s.
I think it was the day and age. And I think it's because he's a doctor and wants to support him because he seems like a nice boy. He doesn't know what's been happening on the side. And then he finds out, and then he says to Jerry Orbach, oh, thanks for helping out with Penny.
That awkward situation.
And then he's like, whoa, what the fuck? Because Jerry Orbach thought it was Swayze who knocked up Penny.
Exactly.
And had this botched abortion.
Because Swayze even went over to like explain like, hey, you have an amazing daughter. And he's like, oh, I have an amazing daughter. You shut up. You don't tell me what to do because you got a lady in trouble. Which also too, why didn't Swayze stop him and say, I didn't get her in trouble?
Because I think what happened, the interaction was exactly what Swayze expected.
Oh,
he's
so
like,
he's just,
I'm trash. I've always been trash. I'm a good for nothing.
Okay. All right. All right.
This is how my dad talked to me.
Right.
You know, all of that back subconscious
the
character
fun
stuff. The history. Write out a 20-page history of your character, guys.
Put it.
Because it helps. It doesn't
help.
It doesn't. It doesn't. Just use the words on the page.
At any rate.
Be in the moment. Anyway.
There's the final dance, but before that, because when you see a pretty lady against a wall, that's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea. So Swayze comes in with his whole motley crew of dishwashers and
dancers,
crotch grinders,
and crotch.
Goes up to Jerry Orbach's table and he says,
"No one puts baby in a corner."
And he grabs Baby Houseman and pulls her up on stage. He's like, "No, there's one more act we're doing here.
I close the talent show.
I close that right."
But we can't forget though the girl, the other sister singing.
Yes.
Join hands and hearts and voices, hearts and hands. And then, like, I love that he comes up and the daughter's still just singing. Like, everybody else is stopping.
Right.
She's like, join
hands and they're all just looking at her.
Stop.
Like, you can stop now. But there's also this really interesting line that I didn't write down or I didn't make a note about. But Kellerman is actually, like, watching everybody sing.
Oh, that's right.
And he's like, is this going out of style? Because kids don't want to come up to the Catskills in the summer anymore.
Right.
They want to go backpack across Europe because I think we were think we were in Vietnam at that point, right? Have we invaded Vietnam yet?
No, I think what he was saying, because again, this is before Kennedy got shot.
Times are changing.
So he's saying times are changing. Kids don't want to come up and visit,
They don't want to play croquet.
They want to go to Europe. They want to travel. They want to
Yeah.
go other places than drive up with their parents.
The summer hotel experience, same thing like in the actual story of The Shining or in the novel. You go to these resorts for the summer, and then you go vacation somewhere else in another season.
Yeah, in the winter.
But essentially, this sort of way of life is kind of going out of style.
Right.
And I thought it was just a really interesting moment for him to kind of be reflecting about that. And he's like, should we make any changes? But we can't really afford to because things are changing so fast.
Right.
And I think that was kind of a big arc and a big theme of the movie, and especially for these characters, and especially for Baby Houseman, because what we have following this is an amazing dance number. And you see her, and it gives her father to see her in her true light.
She's blossomed, like she's coming to her own.
She's come a long way. It's like the end of the arc.
Also, too, there was a moment that we skipped over where like Baby kind of gets nervous about her dad seeing them together, and he's like, I don't think that you wanted your dad to know that you were seeing me.
Yeah,
and
like she was ashamed.
And so in this moment, she's like proud, like this is my man, and she does the lift.
Yeah.
The lift happens.
He jumps off stage like 12 frames per second. It's like he lands, and then he's like doing dancing on his knees.
And Dad says, I know that it wasn't you that got Penny in trouble. Like everything ties up into a nice, pretty bow. And then the movie ends.
And then that's it.
It's not that the movie ends. That's not true. Because now everybody is dancing the new dances.
Everybody, like, and the ethnics are mixing in.
Help. The
everybody
boys,
is on the dance floor,
like
and I'm like, this is what humanity is evolving to. There are no more barriers.
No.
There's no more limitations.
And you're seeing some people
can dance
I didn't even think about this, but you're seeing some people that are doing like actual choreographed dance, like the instructors. But then you also see other people that are just doing whatever the fuck they want, and that they're all together doing what they are excited.
People are mixing, and it's great. They're getting along. No one's
what a concept.
So that was another theme of this movie, is like, wow, this is possible. Look at the power of dance. But also how dirty it can be, because I was very wet at the end of this.
So what did you think of the movie overall?
I liked the movie.
Good.
I don't know if I would like go out of my way to be like, oh, Dirty Dancing's on. It's an amazing movie. But it was a little bit too contrived.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
And I also, again, felt a little uncomfortable watching it.
Interesting.
It was they lean into the sensuality so hard that it felt almost oppressive. In a way.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was great too, but at the same time,
I didn't mind it because it was all motivated. It didn't seem excessive. It didn't seem that it wasn't earned. It all felt genuine and authentic. So I loved all of it. It was an expression of, emotion through physical acts of love, and whether it be literally through having sex or dancing.
It's like when Daniel LaRusso wins the karate tournament at the end. And he's hugging Mr. Miyagi. Elizabeth Shue is so happy.
Of 1 to even.
And he's come full circle. He's found a little bit of balance in his life.
Every day we will disagree on that movie. And you know what? That's fine, because that's what marriage is sometimes.
It's compromise.
It is about compromise. So I'm glad you liked the movie.
Did you like the movie?
I fucking love this movie because it is exactly it is a little bit contrived, but I think it knows that it wanted to be something quaint, but it's more than that. It also has a message and an arc to it, and
I think so.
You see, like a lot of people, their minds get opened and their worlds get changed, and I love that. And I fucking love dancing. Like I love dancing. Who doesn't like dancing?
Especially like watching like good dancers dance.
People who are not just good at it, but people who are fulfilled by it and find joy in it. Like it's, I love this
because you're not only like watching their steps, you're watching like you see their faces too, and you're just like, oh, that like you not only know these moves, but they like they live in you.
Yeah.
Like this lives inside of you, and this is the only way you know how to express it.
Yep.
And that's what Baby Houseman found, in that she knew she needed to break free of this structure, this linear path that her parents had her on.
Right, but she didn't know what
she didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
But she's
found
thrown into this situation, and
she found it. Well, let's do trivia.
Want to go to trivia?
I'm stoked about the trivia.
Let's do some trivia. Let's cue. You wouldn't know it, but the two leads hated each other.
I knew it.
They hated each other.
Hated each other.
Because they were both in the movie Red Dawn, which I mentioned at the beginning of this. And apparently they had such a terrible working experience. Patrick Swayze had to personally call Jennifer Grey and ask her to be in this movie because she gave the best audition. She was right for the part. It also should be noted that her dad is Joel Grey.
That's crazy.
Who plays the MC in the movie Cabaret. He also played it in the original cast on
He's
Broadway.
also in Wicked.
Also in Wicked. He's a talented guy. And his daughter's talented too. But Swayze and Jennifer Grey could not stand each other. They had to be constantly kind of coerced into making the chemistry work. Mm-hmm. So much so that the director had to pull them aside a few times to watch the footage of their screen test together, just to kind of reignite that fire. Because, like it or not, they had a lot of chemistry. They had a lot of chemistry.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering what it would have been like if they actually liked each other. Yeah. Would it have just gone out of the stratosphere, or did they need that little bit of hatred?
I don't know.
Do you think?
I'm not sure.
I don't know, because maybe even the characters had that a little bit too. Like, I don't get you. Well, I don't get you.
Right.
Let's figure this fucking thing
It's like apples and oranges are opposites attract. Right. And to this, and this is part of your trivia, I'm sure, is the really famous dance scene when they're singing "Baby, Oh Sweet Baby." Yeah. That one was actually a warm-up.
Yeah.
That was not meant to be. It was
the cameras rolling, but it wasn't supposed to be in the movie. So where she's crawling towards him on the floor.
That was they were just warming up
for the scene,
because
and they left that in the movie. And to me, because I read beforehand that they hated each other, but I see them doing this. I see them playing.
Yeah.
And I think that is always what we're trying to get back to.
Yeah.
And Kathy Bates talks about this all the time. It's why she loves what she does for her career, is that there was always that sense of play and abandon. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's what we're always trying to get back to and get out of our head and just be here with this other person in whatever is happening. And you could see that in this scene. And you're just like, wow.
Yep.
Wow, you guys, like, when you want to bring it with each other,
you
absolutely can.
That's also why I love this movie. It's just that watching their chemistry is so delightful.
But they fucking hated each other.
They hated each other.
Swayze was offered $6 million to reprise his role as Johnny for a sequel.
Oh, God.
Wasn't a fan of sequels, turned it down. Jennifer
Good man.
Grey also was offered a different role in, I believe, the remake of the movie.
Okay.
She clearly wasn't offered Baby Houseman.
Well, yeah.
But she turned that down too because she was like, I don't,
Good.
I don't want to do that.
Good.
Swayze did his own stunts for this movie. During the log scene, he fell off so many times that they had to drain his knee because he kept hitting it every time he fell off the log. They had to drain fluid out of his knee for him to even continue on. So,
Swayze.
Yeah. So the dancing that Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey do during the love scene was the same dance that they did for their screen tests.
Yes.
And it wasn't originally supposed to be in the film. So they did that for their screen test.
Oh.
Yeah. Wasn't supposed to be in the movie, but they actually put that in.
Huh.
Yeah. The exteriors and cabin scenes were filmed at Mountain Lake in Virginia. The lake scene was also filmed in North Carolina in October. There are no close-ups of the actors outside because they are freezing their asses off and their lips were turning blue.
Oh, God. What we do for our craft.
What we do.
Yikes.
So Jennifer Grey at 27 was 10 years older than her actual character. During her audition, she had 5 minutes to not only prove that she could dance, but prove that she could play 10 years younger.
Wait a minute. Baby's supposed to be 17?
I wouldn't have bought that she was 17.
No, she doesn't look 17.
She's like 23.
Yeah, she looks like she's
it looked like she was still living at home with her parents.
Yeah, I would say like 19.
Yeah.
19.
Like, we couldn't marry her off, so we're going to take her up to the
an older looking 19. Right. Which also then her sister, her sister must have been like, oh God.
And I mentioned this earlier during the scene where Baby and Johnny are dancing in the woods and later in the water. Since that part of the movie was shot in October, which was when all the leaves were starting to change colors, the trees had to be spray painted green due to the fact that the time frame of the movie is supposed to be in the summer, but all the leaves were changing.
Do that?
I don't know. Like you'd have to have like an industrial size, like giant.
If you read the directions on the power washer,
I bet you could load it with
paint.
paint.
You could figure that out.
So the writer, her name was Eleanor Bergstein, and she actually based both characters on herself. Her nickname growing up was Baby, and when she was growing up in the 30s and 40s, her parents would go up to the Catskills to this summer vacation lodge.
Oh.
But she was also a closeted dancer of this
group,
dirty type, I guess.
Oh.
And again, like since this is set during the 60s, one of the characters had a really great comment. Because Baby's like, why are they dancing like that? And he's just like, oh, they're already doing it in their basements. They're just bringing it out on the dance floor. And I'm like, oh, that's actually a good point.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking anyway. So now they're actually just bringing it out on the dance floor.
They're just doing it on the dance floor.
So she, the writer, Eleanor Bergstein, was actually a part of this secretive dance troupe. And so she was both Baby and Johnny.
Johnny. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I just want her story now.
Yeah. There's a little bit of trivia for you.
Here it is.
I want to watch the television series with Jen Levinson.
So
badly.
I know.
I swear to God, I want to find that on Amazon and watch it.
I feel like they did Dirty Dancing as like one of those live musicals for Fox.
Probably.
Or was that Grease? I think it was
Grease. They did Rocky Horror.
Yeah, but at any rate, I fucking
Shop.
love this movie.
There's a ton of Dirty Dancing content out there. There's not only the TV series that was short-lived in the 80s or early 90s. There's a remake of it for a made-for-TV movie. There's a remake of it that came out, I think, in 2017, or maybe that was Footloose. You
can't beat the original.
You can't beat the remaking this movie to me would be a little bit of folly because of the time frame it's set in, when it was made. You cannot replicate what Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey do in this movie.
You can't.
You can't replicate that kind of chemistry.
No.
So I feel like it should just be left alone,
You
can't leave well enough alone. There's a sequel like Havana Nights, which I imagine is more moist than this movie because it's set in Havana.
Apparently it's horrible.
Well, I'm sure it's horrible.
It's terrible.
But I'm sure people are just wet.
Because it's already humid down there.
There's PAs just spraying everybody down. There's probably just PAs just making sure everyone had like gelatine on them just to make them
glycerin,
just to make them look like they're sweating.
Yes.
Anyway, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a little ham-fisted. I was pissed off that you don't like Karate Kid, but you like this movie, which is not the same fucking thing. If Daniel LaRusso was doing dancing, you would have liked it.
I'm not going to comment.
And you're like, he had a summer to learn all this? I'm like, yeah, well, fuck you. She had a summer to learn all this dancing too.
No.
Yes.
We're not getting into this. We're not getting into this.
I would recommend this movie to anyone who enjoys movies. This is a mid to late 80s movie.
If you enjoy dancing.
If you enjoy, like, the dancing in this movie is fucking amazing. It really makes you appreciate the skill sets that these guys have. It makes you miss Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
He died way too young of pancreatic cancer. And if you really want to see him at, again, like the height of his powers, pre-Ghost, but after both, what's the movie he did with Rob Lowe? I forget. I think he was in St. Elmo's Fire, but he was also in Red Dawn. Like, Patrick Swayze in the 80s was a god. So if you want to see him in godlike status, watch this movie. It's very enjoyable.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
Or To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, which is also an incredible movie.
Yeah. And now a musical.
It is?
Isn't it?
No.
Wait, what am I thinking of?
I don't know what you're thinking of. Kinky Boots?
No, not Kinky Boots. It's the other one. Man.
Tootsie?
No, it's they play. There's drag queens in it. They're not transvestites, but they're drag queens.
I'm just
it's
gonna wait.
It's not To Wong Fu.
I'm just gonna
what
wait.
is it? Priscilla,
Queen of the Desert? I've never seen that.
Really?
No. This is why we have a podcast.
Hugo Weaving, who plays Agent Smith in The Matrix. Guy Ritchie is in the main cast. And Terrence Stamp. All Aussie actors playing amazing drag queens, singing and dancing to ABBA music. Oh, we have to watch
All right. At any rate.
Anyway, Would you recommend this movie?
I absolutely would recommend this movie. I would be
I
careful if it's on TBS or TNT.
Yeah.
You can have your kids watch it-ish. But I think,
again, I was watching something I should have been watching.
I think it's great.
It's great.
I think, but then it's like, that's the work that we aspire to do.
Yeah.
Like whenever we're in an acting class and something happens in a scene and we're like, we feel like we're just privy to something that we shouldn't be seeing. That's great work.
Right.
Like there's a scene in Transparent where the gal is standing naked in her kitchen eating a microwave dinner. It is the most captivating thing fucking ever because you feel like you should not be seeing such an intimate thing, which is another reason why I love this movie.
If you loved Karate Kid, you'll love this movie.
If you like Greatest Showman, you will like this movie.
Still our highest rated podcast.
Shots fired.
Wow. Here we are.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you guys. I hope this was a bright ray of light in your day, in your weekend. We hope you're well and staying healthy and still practicing physical distancing because we're still in it.
But we're finding connection in other ways, which is good.
Hopefully everyone's out there adapting and doing what they can. But thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, tune in. Be sure to subscribe, share, and review us on iTunes, I think is where it is. And, we would love it if more people saw. I've noticed actually we've started getting a few more people following our Instagram.
That's great.
More people are subscribing to our YouTube channel.
That's great.
So
because they're not doing anything else.
Keep sharing. Like
Thank
literally, if you're watching this, take it and just share. Use one of the share buttons. Tell people about what we're doing, and we'd love to have a bigger audience to chat with, I guess.
And I would just like to say thank you to everyone who's working frontline jobs right now, not just the medical professionals, the doctors and nurses who are treating people, but also people like our mailmen and people who work at the grocery store, who
essential workers
who help fill our gas tanks, essential workers who really keep our lives running and moving forward and getting us what we need. If you're one of them or know one of them, thank you. If you see one of them, be sure to thank them for the job that they're doing. The FedEx guy came by the other day and dropped off a box, and I said, thank you for what you're doing. And you could tell it really affected him because maybe he hadn't heard that yet. So there are a lot of people out there working very hard to keep our lives in some sense of normalcy. So if you see an essential worker or have any interactions, be sure to say thank you and spread the love.
Spread the love. And with that, we will say bye.
Bye.